her. She'd give us the space to sit and draw or paint or sculpt as she stood in the background cheering us on. Her encouragement for others to develop their passion was unending. I'm sorry, this is hard. She believed with all her heart that everyone was full of artistic talent. We just had to tap into the part of us and allow it to blossom in the light. She appreciated all kinds of talent, not just 2D art, but all sorts of visual arts, performing, conceptual, textile, also music, dance, sewing, knitting, pottery, gardening, the list just goes on and on. For baking, her home was always filled with beautiful scents of baking bread or apple squares popping out of the oven. She was pretty famous for those apple squares. She would fill vases with flowers from the yard, often adding in the weeds from the back meadow because they were just so beautiful. There was Nana Mouskouri or Celine Dion music often playing in the background, and she believed that life was an art form and that everyone is an artist. The important lessons I've learned from my mother are the fabric of my being. I remember when her grandchildren were small, she would put knitting needles in their hands and teach them to knit. There were winters at my parents' North Street home where all the little ones, including all the boys, you know, like little handsome boys over there, were prompted to knit scarves. That was a classic Carol theme. The boys never felt like it was odd to have a skein of yarn at their feet and a soft, colorful scarf that they created draped across their laps as they knitted and purled their ways to finish projects. She was their prism. She took the ordinary and made it extraordinary. Her subtle encouragement was a gift to all of us. Through her 74 years on this earth, I believe her happiest years were when her grandchildren were small. She and Dad have 15 grandchildren. She always had piles of kids at her house, running around in Dr. Denton's, making pancakes, baking cookies, building blanket forts. Of course, there were pads of paper, tubes of paint, markers galore. But a favorite memory of mine was Mom arranging her Grandma Olympics. She found a way to combine art with sports and lots of joy for everyone. With homemade podiums and creative medals, she made sure the events all included ways for the little ones to earn a medal so that no one would feel sad at the end of the day. There would be handmade flags from many countries, and she let the kids make all the choices of what team they were on and what events they wanted to try. There were life lessons in sharing, generosity of spirit, enthusiasm for the unexpected, assisting others to achieve their best. All the mom lessons that my mom was so good at. It breaks my heart that the younger grandchildren don't have these memories of Grandma Carol. I know your memories are of the confused and befuddled grandma. Please know that she loved each and every one of you with all of her heart. I think her Alzheimer's journey is a lesson to each of us. We need to love each other with my mom's intensity, hold on to the great memories, and forgive the wobbly ones. Hug like your life depends upon it. Tell people that they are beautiful and mean it. We need to understand in the core of our being that everyone is a complex being who is struggling along to be the best person that they can be. Mom taught me that. We all put on a brave face, hide our pain, and face the world. She did these things while still encouraging us to turn a clear ray of light into a rainbow of possibilities. Since Mom passed, I've listened to many of you share your memories of her with us. Many of you mentioned that she had a shy, quiet grace about her, and that her sense of style was admirable. Her joy and laughter was contagious. Her interest in really listening to you and your dreams was also so heartwarming to us. She always wanted you to come and visit and stay a long time, have another cup of coffee, talk some more. When I hear these things, I can't help but be reminded of my wedding day when Mom sat in the pew at the Watertown Congregational Church all by herself, looking completely terrified. Elegant and beautiful, but definitely terrified. My father was walking me down the aisle, and my brothers and sister were in my wedding party, so they were all up at the altar with me. The videographer caught her, gracefully sitting alone and looking so nervous for me. When I watched that video over the years, I knew in my heart of hearts that all she ever wanted was for me to be happy. And that was such a pivotal moment for us as mother and daughter. She loved me so much, and she was letting me go on to the next chapter of my life. As happy a moment as it was, it also felt like a tiny loss to her. Life lesson, right? Another mom lesson. She always wanted the very best for everyone she loved, no matter what the cost was to her. Many of us have these beautiful moments with our mothers. Of course, the love moms have for their children is so powerful. But I just want to mention these thoughts today because it is so easy to be busy with the day-to-day that we forget to give weight to what is really important. My mom was really important. In her final year, while sitting quietly in her living room, I was sharpening her colored pencils so that she could find peace, which was so important towards the end of her journey, that peace, while she colored in her adult coloring book. And I just remember sitting there watching her, thinking how hard it was for her to not be able to do her art the way that she did. But it didn't matter. Many times it didn't matter to her because she still had color. She still had access to color, and it just brought her such joy. Some of the things I learned at those sad times are that no matter what hand life deals us, what we need most is to feel love from other people. When we are most frightened, a hand to hold is the most comforting thing in the world. When we drift off to sleep out of sheer exhaustion and we wake a few moments later in terror of our new reality, the gentle touch of another human being is a great gift. Watching my father love my mother was so powerful. He taught us all by example that the best thing to hold on to in life is each other. I've read that hearing your mother's voice is as calming as a minute-long hug from a loved one. I may no longer hear my mom's physical voice, but I will always hear it in my heart. Thanks, Mom, for all that you were, and for laying the foundation for generations to come. Thanks, Mom, for being our prism and allowing our light to refract into the world in an array of colors that you loved so much. Thank you, everyone.